You know, I was thinking about something while I was driving. There was a time when maps actually mattered. Perhaps folding maps, paper maps, maps you had to pull over to read. And here's the funny part. And let's be honest, gentlemen. Half of us never folded a map correctly a day in our lives. We opened it up one time and it never went back the same again. It looked like we were wrestling a bed sheet in the driver's seat. And don't let it be raining. Now we're outside holding a 4-foot piece of paper, praying a truck doesn't drive by and baptize us. Men didn't get lost back then. I can recall my dad watching him. They just drove around with confidence in the wrong direction. You could have the map right there and still be completely lost. I mean, lost. The map didn't tell you about traffic. It didn't tell you about construction. It didn't tell you that you already missed a turn. But then, thank God, GPS showed up, right? And GPS didn't just tell you where to go. GPS told you when you messed up, still does. And it says recalculating, starts buffering, which is basically technology's way of saying, relax, chill out. You missed it. We'll figure it out on the next move. And that kind of got me to thinking. Because in life, especially for men, a lot of the pressure we feel isn't because we're failing, it's because we don't know what the next move is. One of my mentors used to tell me all the time, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything. If you don't know what to say, don't say anything. And most men don't say I'm desperate. We say things like, I'm tired, man. I'm stressed. I'm just trying to get through this season. But underneath that is pressure. Not panic, pressure. Pressure that sounds like I can't afford to get this wrong. You know what I mean? I mean, 40 plus, late kids, late marriage, late purpose. The clock feels louder, ticking faster. And let me say this clearly. Desperation is not weakness. It's pressure without language. It's responsibility showing up long before instructions do. True story. When my wife told me she was pregnant with our youngest, 4-year-old, I was shocked. She was shocked too. And she said it out loud. What are we going to do? I don't want another baby. I remember it like it was yesterday. And this is what she said verbatim. And I didn't have some deep answer. I didn't have a plan. I said, baby, I don't know what we're going to do. But I know we're not going to do. He's coming. And now, guess what? He's here. That was a moment where there was no map, no 5-year plan, no spreadsheets, no calm certainty, just a responsibility standing in the room waiting to see if I was going to run or stay. And that's what pressure really feels like, not fear, not weakness. Wait. Just wait. And then came the next moment nobody prepares us for, telling the kids. I had to tell my daughter, because it's one thing to carry pressure in your head, but it's another thing when you have to name it out loud. I remember sitting there trying to sound cool and calm, but inside I was thinking, how is this going to land? And I said something like, Daddy got something he needs to tell you. Then there's that pause, that moment where life is about to change again. And you don't know how it's going to be received. That's pressure without a map. And here's what I learned through all of it. Pressure doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. I want you to hear me. It means something important is on the line. The problem in pressure is really pretending that you don't feel it, because hurt and pain, well, we're old enough to know that's a part of life, but suffering is what happens when you carry pressure alone and never gives it a name. Does that make sense? As a man, we kind of like to act like we have a plan for everything, don't we? Every turn, every decision, every outcome. But at 61 years old, let me tell you something. That's just not true. Even if nobody says it out loud, we know it. Life has a way of humbling your plans. Scripture even says many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And I've lived long enough to understand this. If it didn't happen, probably wasn't meant for you. And that's not rejection. That's alignment. Now, that might bother some egos in the room, but sometimes what we call control was really never ours to begin with, right? This is where second wind comes in. Not hype, not with answers to everything, just permission to say, I don't need the whole map. I just need the next move. Because GPS doesn't shame you for missing a turn. It just recalculates. And maybe that's the lesson for men like us. Late fathers, late husbands, late purpose, 40 plus. Not lost, just under pressure and leaning and learning how to move forward without pretending we have all the answers. And let me just leave you with this. Maps told us where we were supposed to go, right? You remember earlier I said men used to drive confidently in the wrong direction? Yeah. Confidence is powerful, but direction is what gets you home. And ego is what makes you miss the exit and refuse to turn around. But maturity hits that recalculating button a little bit faster now. GPS tells us what to do, true enough, after we miss the turn. Second wind isn't about going back. It's about recalculating, recalibrating, not panic, not shame, just honesty. Because sometimes the bravest thing a man can say is, I don't know what the whole plan is, but I'm still here. And I'm not going anywhere. That's work. Because here's the truth. A man doesn't become dangerous when he has all the answers. I believe that. He becomes dangerous when he stops pretending he does. You don't need the whole map. Just enough humility to listen when life says, recalculating. I'm K.R. Henderson. This is Second Wind, truth without oxygen.